Hello, I'm Dr. Deb, Department Chair, Learning Frameworks Instructor, Lifelong Learner, and the face behind Dr. Deb Explains. Today you're watching the fourth video in a series on transitional issues that new college students often face. In today's video, I'm exploring the issue of technology and why it is often a stumbling block for new college students. The new college technology includes the Learning Management System, or Canvas, Pirate Portal and VC Email, and other technology like Word, Adobe Reader, etc. In addition to these new technologies, I will also explore the learning theories of emotional intelligence by Goldman, learned optimism by Seligman, the learning strategy of concrete examples, Kuseo's principle on utilizing resources, and the professionalism topic of self-control. Victoria College's Total Learning Center presents Dr. Deb Explains, Transition Issue Number 4, Technology. Technology. We often have a love-hate relationship with it. We love it when it works for us and hate it when it messes up. However, for some people, they have not had the opportunity to love it yet, as they have had little exposure to its benefits. Believe it or not, there are some industries and some people who have not yet moved into the computer age. The closest they have come are the computers that they carry around in their pockets on a daily basis. This allows them to get on social media, which many do not see the benefit in doing so, and stay connected with family and friends. They have not had to interact with other forms of technology, and they have not had to rely on that technology to communicate, so they have a genuine fear of the unknown. And if it isn't fear, it's a great unease or uncomfortableness with that technology that they have to use as new college students. All institutions use some form of learning management system to deliver their classes to their students. VC uses Canvas, but there are other LMSs that are used at other institutions. So if you transfer, you may have to learn a new one. For us, every instructor has a Canvas shell or course for each section that they teach. It is up to the instructor if he or she uses the Canvas shell to display content, grades, etc. At VC, every instructor has to upload a copy of the syllabus to Canvas, but that is all that they are required to do. It is to your benefit if you get into every class and explore to see what is available and where everything is located. You should also set up your notifications so you get notified when changes occur. We have already mentioned the importance of Pirate Portal in your campus email. These services are vital to your success as a student. So, like Canvas, open your email and Pirate Portal and explore. See what is available to you and where everything is located. The more comfortable you are with technology, the more you will use it. You may also be required to utilize other programs depending on the courses you take. You may have external sites that are companion sites to your textbook. Your instructors may require you to do work in these sites as well as in Canvas. You should become familiar with these services as well as Microsoft Word, Adobe Reader, and any other program that is required in a course or by the instructor. If you need assistance with these programs or need help obtaining access, check with the help desk or the technology services page on the VC website or in Pirate Portal. Emotional intelligence is the theory that people can better identify, assess, and manage not only their emotions, but those of others or groups. This means that one person can be aware of his or her own emotions and can manage and assess those emotions, as well as the emotions of others, or of how other people may affect his or her emotions. Have you ever been angry, but you haven't really taken the time to acknowledge what is making you angry? Sometimes when this happens, people simply explode and punch a wall or yell at someone. What would happen if that person was able to take a step back mentally and say, "This is making me angry. Why is it having this effect? What can I do about it?" Maybe then he or she wouldn't explode and could effectively manage the anger without hurting himself or herself or others. How does this relate to our issue of technology? I've seen more than one person absolutely terrified, frustrated, and confused by technology at one time or another. These are all emotional responses to the programs in computers. If ever a person was in need of emotional intelligence, it's when he or she is working with technology. Learned optimism is the belief that optimism can be cultivated, much like happiness. The opposite of learned optimism is learned helplessness, which is when a person has learned through past experiences to give up and be helpless when faced with a challenging issue. Both of these have links to fixed and growth mindset as well as grit. Imagine that you are not familiar with computers and your instructor assigns a 3-page typed essay to be completed in an MLA format in Microsoft Word. There are a couple of responses that you could have. You could see it as a learning opportunity to not only learn a new program and a new format, which is learned optimism, or you could simply try to open Microsoft Word, attempt to format it however you think is best, and then give up simply because you have no idea what you are doing, which is learned helplessness. How does this fit with the transition issue of technology? You will have to use technology in college one way or another. Your attitude and approach to technology makes all the difference in the world. You can see it all as a learning opportunity and use it to improve your knowledge and skills in the future, or you can simply give up and quit and wait until someone does it for you. This second approach may have worked when you were a lot younger, but as an adult, people are often less interested in doing other people's work for them, which is why I'm making all these videos. Concrete examples are examples that you create to make abstract concepts like love more understandable. In order to visualize and process the concept of love, we use icons like hearts and a couple holding hands to help us understand what it is and what it looks like. So how does this work in college? Most of these theories and strategies are pretty vague. Yet in the course guide and in these videos, I have tried to provide you with concrete examples to show you what the concepts would look like in reality. And most instructors do this quite naturally. However, in order to truly understand the concepts, you need to try to create your own concrete examples. If you can do this, then you truly understand the concept and can relate it to your own life and examples. How does this help with technology? Technology is complicated, and most of us don't understand exactly how it works. We are just glad that it does when it does. However, we could learn to understand it a bit better by making the abstract more concrete. If we liken our technology to something else that we know a lot about, it may help us deal with it a bit better. This leads us to utilizing resources that are available to help us when things get tough. We've already mentioned how helpful the help desk can be, but there are other resources that can help as well. All institutions offer resources to students, but these resources vary depending on the institution. Most institutions offer some type of learning center or academic learning center. At VC, this is a total learning center that houses this course, learning frameworks, tutoring, and academic coaching. Almost every institution offers some type of library service as well. VC students have access to the VC library as well as a UHV library. The library also has online services as well. Some institutions have separate advising centers, career centers, and counseling centers. But at VC, all of these services are housed under academic advising. They also offer other student support services like a food pantry, a clothing closet, and transportation assistance, to name just a few. Self-control is the ability to control oneself, one's emotions and desires, and the expression of those emotions and desires, especially in difficult situations. This means that one must understand how one is feeling and be able to manage those feelings in an appropriate way, especially when you're stressed or angry. What would this actually look like? Sometimes it's very frustrating to be working with technology. For example, let's say you worked on a paper for several hours. Then the power goes off, and when it comes back on, your paper is nowhere to be found. How would you respond to that? Some might get mad and throw things, blame the computer, yell, scream. Others, those with self-control, might take a few deep breaths to calm down and start recreating the document that they lost. How does this help with technology? Technology is frustrating. If we let it get to us, we are lost. All we can do is see the bright side of things and use the opportunities that technology provides us to practice our self-control. If you want to know more about the transition issues that new college students often face, stay tuned for more as Dr. Deb explains.